where there once stood camp, a wonderful camp, capable of providing extended shelter, place to prepare food with a plentiful water source nearby, now sits a lone backpack, ready to continue its journey. Oh, come on. Thoreau ain't got nothing on me. All right, being just a little silly this morning, but I must move on. Fortunately, the rain held off till I could pack up my tent. I was thrilled about that. I actually did that very early, out of order, because I did not want it to start raining while I was packing up my tent. But I feel like I can hear it. The wind in the trees. It's here. I gotta get moving. Okay, onward we go. So, kind of funny. I just pulled out my phone so that I could give you, morning update. Trucking along down here, and, I'm paying attention to the trail, but mostly I'm like looking at the ground ahead of me, and I see this, and so, here, let me get closer. I just think blowdown, right? Like you see? And I honestly started to think how I can make my way around, because it does appear slightly that the trail goes there. So as I am contemplating this in my mind, I just happen to look this way. Oh, hey, Wilson, what are you trying to tell me? And then I turn around. Oh, look! The trail goes this way. Honest to God, I literally would have been bushwhacking through. Honestly, this is the part that scares me about the trail. You really gotta stop and go, is this how I should go? Look around. See if Wilson is over here waving his arms going, no, over this way. And sure enough, here we go. Thanks, Wilson. Anyway, morning update. What's on my mind? Well, mostly to Waynesboro or not to Waynesboro? That is the question. I was thinking last night, I was like torn, oh, maybe I'll go into Waynesboro. They got the free campsite. And even, when you look in the map and open up, like, what does Waynesboro have to offer? And it says, ooh, it's the friendliest hiker town on the AT. And to prove it, we have free campsite, and the free campsite has a charging station. And I'm like, okay, you are checking all my boxes. I need, more than anything, I need the charging station. But, like I am always warning you, you must open the comments. The comments are like the reviews, right? And sure enough, it's comment after comment saying that very sadly, and this, I mean this, very sadly, the campsite has become a popular hotspot with the drug-addicted homeless population. And apparently, they're not above stealing your things. So people have been complaining of theft. And they went on to say the charging station doesn't even work. So now it's like, oh gosh, now you've just removed every reason for me to even go into Waynesboro. All right, so last night I had one bar, and I was thinking, all right, I'm going to try and get online just for fun, see what they have. Maybe there's a Quality Inn or a Motel 6 or something like that, right? No idea, because that was not listed on the map as a amenity, but that doesn't surprise me, because I have this sneaky suspicion that you have to pay to be advertised, so to speak, on Far Out. So if that's the case, well, maybe the Quality Inn's like, I don't have to advertise, so we didn't. Anyway, okay. I don't know if I'm right about that. I'm making stuff up, because sometimes there's a lot of things that are not listed. You get to town, you go, oh, I didn't know about that. Well, it's because I don't think they advertise. All right, I don't know. But so I tried to get on the internet, but I did not have enough service to open the internet. I did have enough service to text my husband, but I did not have enough to actually do an internet search. I couldn't even bring up Google Maps and try to see what was around me. So that was frustrating. I mean, part of me says, well, if I could get a Quality Inn or something, I might still go in, but I might go in tonight because it won't matter how late. I just got to get a shuttle ride. And sometimes the Hikertown hotels, motels, I should say, do come get you. I mean, that is, sometimes they do. Not always. But I know with the free one, you wouldn't have that. You'd have to find your own transportation. There's an inn, like a bed and breakfast type space. Says it has 10 hiker bunks. So, I mean, they could be taken or maybe not. I don't know. And it says they will shuttle you in. It's $80. Now, I was complaining the other day that I paid $30 for a tent site. To me, tent sites should be no more than $15. I mean, all I'm doing is pitching a tent on your lawn, you know. But, okay, $30. Now I know I need to ask more questions because this one didn't have the prices listed. Okay, ask more questions. Fine. At least that $30 allowed me shower, laundry, charging, all that. This one says, I don't even remember if the shower was free. I know that two of the common things that you would normally expect staying at a hostel or campsite, like with amenities, campsite with amenities, don't get me wrong. The two of the things you would expect paying them that kind of money would be laundry and a shower, but I forget that the note said that two of those things were extra. So I'm like, wow. But you know what? $80 is probably still cheaper than a Quality Inn, but I'd have my own room, right? So like, I don't know. Again, do I do it or don't I? I need to look at my options. I also want to look at the, what do you call it? The mileage and just see, because, you know, I was planning to just do 16 miles today, and it is Paul Wolf Shelter. I got it now. I know what it is. Not Paul Murphy, Paul Wolf Shelter. Wolf with an E. And that was 16 miles today, and then I was going to just, you know, had only I think it's 5 or 6 miles, maybe not even, no, 5 or 6 miles to get in to Waynesboro, and I could, you know, even just pass through. I mean, maybe I don't even stay. But then where do I go? Because then it's like, I was wrong. Remember how I said a mile or two? I knew it was close, but I never really looked. It's actually 0.3 to the Shenandoahs. And I really do need to get to where there's Wi-Fi or at least a little internet access, because I have to fill out an online registration and pay a fee to go through the Shenandoahs, which is very similar to the Smoky Mountains, except the Smokies made me print my permit. So that's what I get. I get a permit that allows me to spend time in the Shenandoah Mountains. Okay, great. I'll do it. And the Smokies was the same way, except the Smokies wanted you to print that permit and carry it with you. So if anybody said, hey, do you have a permit? I was supposed to be able to show them that. And it was stressful because there was a lot of rain and I had to keep that sucker dry. So anyway, I kept it in my bag with my phone. But apparently the Shenandoahs, they're more with the times, and it's all done online. And if somebody were to ask me, I just have to flip out my online registration. Let's hope I have battery life to be able to do it. Anyway, so it's 0.3 from Waynesboro. So I could just skip Waynesboro and keep going. The first wayside where they sell the food and the resupply, I have plenty of resupply because I planned on that. So I've got plenty of food to hold me over. That is not a concern. It's more getting devices charged. And I did ask, and people seem to think that these waysides will allow you to charge your phones and stuff. So that's a very good thing also. Let's hope it's true. I don't open the comments on that and find out, no, all the charging stations are broken. No. Trail gossip is a wonderful thing. You learn a lot. The communication system on the trail is incredible. However, it can also be wrong. It's like, oh, we have one steep hill and then the rest of the day is easy. Yeah, no, not so much. You're one steep hill in the beginning, but then there were like 5 medium steep hills. And you just didn't open the map wide enough to see how really steep they were. No, I don't like other people's information. I only like mine. I've said that before. But so I got to get this permit purchased and paid for. And I do apologize because I actually had a friend, a very good friend who's savvy with these things, ask me what the papers I was putting in the boxes for the Smokies was. Actually, she didn't connect that it was the Smokies. She asked if I was having to report my progress just through hiking the AT. So like, did I have to periodically prove where I was and whatever? But no, that is not the case. I guess it's on the honor system because there is no checking in. But but that was the Smokies. What happened is you printed the permit and then they had you rip half of it and put it in that box when you entered. And then you gave the second half that you carried with you, you put that in the box when you left. I imagine that's also a way to make sure that you actually did leave. And they're not worried about, finding you somewhere like lost in the wilderness, in the Smokies, but whatever. Nope, she's in and out. Check that one off, right? No. Anyway, okay. Other things on my mind, because I haven't talked enough. I am running dangerously low on soap. Now that I am washing my hands 5 times more often than I ever have in my life, I have discovered I am running dangerously low. I actually thought for a minute someone stole my soap. Like they took some and left the bottle. Because I was like, when did I go? Literally, I thought I had enough to get me past mile marker 1,000. I was counting on getting more around 1,026 because I'll be staying at a hostel near town, blah, blah, blah. But no. So now I just need to find some place. I'd even top it off with some dish soap. I don't even care at this point as long as it's soap. Do you want to be in my video? And another hiker on the trail. Are you through hiking?
I'm just starting.
Oh, outstanding. And do you have a trail name?
I just go by Alan.
Alan.
Yep.
Alan, I'm Trinity.
All right, Trinity.
Nice to meet you. I'm just giving my daily update.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, enjoy. Be safe. Have fun. Good luck. That's nice. Anyway, so yeah, got to get more soap. And stupidly, not stupidly, I ended up throwing away my shampoo bar, which would have been soap, right? But every ounce counts. I mean, every ounce sits on my back. And I had not used it once. I used it at the Knock. The Knock was the only place that I stayed that did not provide me with shampoo and conditioner. So I was lucky to have it, but every hostel I stay at provides shampoo and conditioner. So I thought, why am I still carrying this thing? And I was doing like a ruthless examination of my pack at that point, because it was just, I'm adding a second mobile charger, as you know, and I needed to just find ways to get rid of ounces. Look at this sky. I know it's hazy, but I'm just coming out of the woods, as you can see, and it is just glorious. I know, like I said, I am not going to escape the rain. If it says rain till Saturday, then I am very sure there will be rain from now to Saturday. But I'm just like, wow, thank you for... All right, you know what? My hand is numb, as you know how these things happen with me. So I literally can't feel my hand. It is so carpal tunnel. The doctor tried to tell me it wasn't. I'm like, go check your little Dr. Google thing. It is. But anyway, okay. So I don't even know what I was talking about. This is how bad I am. Gee whiz, Karen. Oh, I cannot remember. Well, let's look at the view while I try to remember. Honestly, I have no idea. You know what I'm gonna have to do? Go to the end of this video and figure out where I left off so I can start up again. Yeah, this is life on the trail. My brain only works well enough to keep me focused on blazes and not tripping on rocks. The rest, superfluous. The rest, my brain's like, seriously? We don't have time for that. We're a little busy over here. You don't feed us enough. We haven't got the carb stores. And you want us to be thinking about what you were talking about this time? Yeah, no, we have our hands full over here, just keeping you alive. Okay, so that's that. I shall come back if it was all that important. For now, have a wonderful day. And I know you guys have had like endless rain. Keep in mind, I know I am like 2 weeks ahead of you now. So this is around the time of Memorial Day, and you guys had that endless, relentless rain. So I apologize. I hope you dry out soon. I'm thinking of all of you, and I love you. And goodbye for now. So nice of people. This was just inside the road crossing. It's just so nice, you know. I don't happen to need it, but if I did, this is just wicked generous. Thank you, trail angels. So I come around the corner and I can't even believe it. Check this out. Check this out. This is the menu. Look it. Pancake sausage, apple smoked great candy. And look, Five Lives is already here, eating. And this is Johnny Timber Tree.
Timber Tree working it up.
Woohoo!
Flapjack.
Woohoo! Oh my gosh, I am like almost in tears. I'm so happy. So I am going to plop myself down and have some real breakfast. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
Steaming hot, right?
All right. Thank you so much. I love you. Hello. Okay, so confession, I did have to look at the very last few seconds of that video to figure out what I was talking about. Again, my brain has more important things to worry about. It's thinking, are you kidding me? On top of keeping you alive, you need me to remember where your thoughts are going. Yeah, no, girl, And it's on the meager rations that you give me, no. But I just fortified you. So, Johnny Timbertree, as you are seeing, and I know I could plug this in and talk about the soap, and you would never know the difference, but I'm now, because I want to tell you about that conversation. And that amazing experience. So, we'll finish the soap. So anyway, as I was saying, I need to top off my soap, and I do it with dish soap because, okay, there was something I did want to say about that. Oh, I know. I got rid of the shower bar. And you're probably thinking, Karen, it was probably 2 ounces or less. And you're right. That's what I was thinking. It's only 2 ounces or less. But that's 2 less ounces on my back. And there was, so, memes. I love memes. I know I've said it before. I say it all the time. Memes are the greatest thing to ever come out of social media. People, the way they phrase things, they resonate in my life and just make me laugh, 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 laugh. Look at these rocks. Is this awful? Anyway, I love memes. Well, I actually created 2, and I think they're funny. I don't know what you'll think, but I think they're funny, and I have been waiting for the right time to share them with you. So I'm going to share one. You know, I'll stick it in between these videos, and you can see. But my meme wording and came out of my head, so my concept, and my son Axel made it reality, made it something I could share with you. So thank you, Ax. But anyway, it's about weight, pack weight, and you know why even a shampoo bar has to go sometimes. But yes, so I will get me some soap soon. The other thing, so I wanted to, okay, so let's transition now. I am very, you can tell, right? I'm super distracted. I chose now to pull out my phone. Really? Well, there were pine needles just a few minutes ago. So, okay. Now okay, oops, had to stop my phone for a second there. Johnny Timbertree and his amazing trail magic. I had pancakes and sausage. Yes, I made pretty much a glutton of myself. I had 6. Okay, you saw the size, but I had a half stack. So I got my first portion, and then he asked 5 Lives if he wanted more, and I said, well, I'll take more too. So I had a half stack. I had initially 4 pancakes and 2 sausage, and then I asked for 2 more pancakes, and he gave me 2 more sausages, which I ate and probably covered it all with a half a bottle of his syrup, which is just wrong and gluttonous. I probably should have left money on the counter. Oh my gosh, you know how many times lately I have rounded the corner or come to a road crossing and really was just so hopeful for trail magic. And it, you know, I don't want to be greedy ever. Obviously, this is a gesture out of the kindness of someone's heart. I've said this before. Trail magic is no strings attached. They are not wanting anything from you. They offer this as a way to say, we support you. We want to make your journey a little more pleasant, a little happier, a little less stressful, a little more successful. Oh my gosh, trail magic is just, when someone offers you trail magic in any form, whether it's a bag of chips at Kroger's or pancakes at a road crossing, it is so amazing. But I have not seen trail magic in weeks. And 5 Lives was actually asking about that because not just that we haven't seen trail magic, because we haven't seen a lot of people. Now, that's been my whole experience, is like I see people, the same faces after, like I said, it took me a couple weeks to find, quote, the people, my people, that I would see more regularly. But I am used to really, like last night, being at the campground alone. I was at the shelter alone. The night before, only because Swampfoot showed up, and then the night before that, I was alone. So it's not unusual now for us to find ourselves alone. But I thought that was normal. Come to find out, according to Johnny Timbertree, it's because we're ahead of the bubble. I thought maybe we were somewhere in the bubble, somewhere. He said, no, you are at the back of the lead. So I don't mind being in the back of the lead. I don't need to be in the front of the lead. There's these people called 100-dayers, and they get the trail done in 100 days. Not me. Doesn't need to be me. Want to have an experience. Want to have all of the experience. So I will slow down, and I will eat pancakes and sausage and have conversation with wicked nice people like Johnny Timbertree. But so those are the lead. And apparently 5 Lives and I only met 5 Lives yesterday for the first time. He was the one that said, will this mountain ever end? We are in the back of the lead, which is why we're not seeing other people, but also a lot of times they save the trail magic for, when the most people are coming through. So it makes sense. Okay, I take it. You know what? Being in the back of the lead tells me that I'm also maybe staying away from the worst of the Noro. Now, here's a perfect example of how bad it can get. 5 Lives, interesting name considering, ended up, he told me he spent a week in the hospital because of Noro. It was actually complications. He got so severely dehydrated from it that he spent a week in the hospital. Now, that's pretty bad. I don't typically hear that, but that's bad. But that's how bad it can get. So it ain't no just, stomach bug and then it's gone. And so what's the other thing? Oh, the doctor that treated him. Now, I'm going to have to double check with 5 Lives, make sure I've got this exact fact right. But the doctor was saying usually he sees 3 cases a year of Noro this bad. He said he's had 60 this year. Remember I was telling you that Ridge Runner said it's the worst she's ever seen? She wasn't kidding. So anyway, I like being where I am. I'm not crossing paths with a lot of people. The people I am crossing paths with are taking neuro very seriously. And anyway, there's that. But okay, so I spent about, I don't know, probably just shy of a half an hour hanging out with Johnny Timber Tree. I want to say Appleseed. It just rolls off the tongue. I'm sorry, Johnny. Anyway, so I'm still thinking that there's a slight chance, I can make it into Waynesboro tonight. So you don't know about this. This all just happened. I got to a different road crossing, was just a brief little stint in the woods, and then I was with the trail magic. But the road crossing previous to that one, there was I had full bars out of nowhere. So I took that opportunity to look and see. Yeah, no Motel 6, no Quality Inn, no nothing. There's the bed and breakfast for $80, but there is also a church that opens its doors to thru hikers from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So, you know, they don't host you all day long and offer you all the amenities, but they give you somewhere to sleep, to check in, and then spend the night. So, actually, I wonder, am I understanding that right? Or did they say only, oh, shucks. I think I better look at that again. Maybe it said 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. Honest to God, I read something and I think I know what I saw, then I think and contemplate it, and now I'm questioning it. All right, I'll have to look at that again. But anyway, if I am right, if I can check in after 5 p.m., that will be great, because I was concerned I would be getting into Waynesboro later, and it was too late to spend all that money on a hostel. But if this church is welcoming me people, you know, but starting later in the day, I mean, it works out perfect. They don't give you the amenities. That's fine. If I can just plug in a device, that would be great. Anyway, okay, so now I'm thinking out loud. You don't need to hear that. I will figure out what's going on. But so far, the topography, no. Yeah, I could go there. The topography has been agreeable. I'm walking a ridge for the most part. So I'm not going up too high and I'm not going down too low. I'm pretty much just kind of mild rollers. But you see these rocks. They do take some navigating, and they are all wet. So, okay. Now you've seen a glimpse into my head and how this all works. I need to think more. Obviously, the bailout can be Paul Wolf Shelter with a quick trip into Waynesboro tomorrow, which is fine. Or I push because I'm able to move faster since there aren't any arduous hills, and I get into Waynesboro tonight. I guess it will be a surprise, and you will find out when I get there. All right, folks, I will talk to you later. Goodbye for now. Where do I go? Oh, over there. I don't know which I like better, closer or further, so I'll give it to you both. Look at all those mountains out there in the city. And those, like right there, that's clouds lifting off the ground. First I thought it was chimney stacks, but it's not. Watching it, it's just the clouds. the fog lifting. God. You know, the climbs hurt sometimes, but it's worth every stinking second. Okay, so where did we leave off? Oh, I remember. It wasn't raining, and the sun it looked like it might even come out. And that's where it all went south. No, it was as if Mother Nature went, oh yeah, that's right, I had planned rain for today. I knew it was gonna rain. Rain was inevitable. It was raining. It was a consistent rain. It wasn't downpouring, and there was no thunder and lightning, which was a possibility in the forecast, so that was all good. I am just so thank you, Jesus, that it waited until after the trail magic, because oh my gosh, those pancakes were so good. The pancakes and sausage, and oh my God, I used an obscene amount of syrup. That poor guy, I thanked him. I acknowledged that I used an obscene amount of syrup. I think he was kind of watching me like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like it, but yeah, I'm pretty bad. So anyway, those pancakes and sausage really fortified me to get a long day in, because I think I gotta look. I apologize that I don't know. I'm at 864.6. I think I did like 22 miles today. So very good, right? It was, so yeah. So like I had mentioned before, it was more like these easy rollers until about the last 5 miles. And then for some reason, just you were either going straight up or straight down or flat. So the flat was nice. And in fact, when it was going down or flats, I actually tried to not run, but walk very, very, very quickly. I was really wanting to get into town earlier than later, right? I wanted to get out of this rain. And I was planning on that church I told you about, Grace Church Hostel is what it's called. And so anyway, I make it to Rockfish Gap, where when you get to that, it's right where you meet a road crossing. And there's a laminated list. The top of it is names of people who will come give you a ride to town for free. Like they just do it as trail angels. And then there's also a list, a shorter list of paid shuttles, right? So the first one I called, said she couldn't do it. The second one I texted, she didn't get back to me right away. But then I decided, I'll pay one, I'll do it that way. And so the first paid shuttle that I called, she couldn't do it either, but she encouraged me to call Kevin, who was on the Trail Angels list. And, oh my gosh, what a nice guy. Such a nice guy. I can't overemphasize that. Such a nice guy. He came right out. Thank you, because but the rain had stopped by this point, but I was free. I was very, very wet and very, very cold. And I climbed into his nice warm car and I couldn't believe it. And so he says, where are we going? And so I said, well, I'd like to go to that Grace Church Hostel. And he goes, well, you're a week early. And I'm like, but why? I said, the map says May 23rd it opens. And he goes, that must be old information because, and he reaches behind him in the back seat and he comes out with this thing. I'll have to take a picture of it. It is this massive sheet. It's like an 8.5 by 11. All this information for thru hikers for the town of Waynesboro. And it says right on it that church hostel will open June 2nd. And I was like, no, because I know my options now, right? They're the bed and breakfast for $80 or the free campsite, but I guess I'm a little nervous around drug addicts, so it made me uncomfortable, right? So, so then he says, well, we got other options. And I look down and there is like 10 motels listed right here in Waynesboro. And I said, I looked and didn't see them. But I didn't Google motels in Waynesboro. Well, I should have done that. You know what I did? I put on Google Maps, put in Waynesboro, Virginia, and then opened it wide and was looking for motels. Isn't that how normal people do it now? Well, apparently none of them came up, right? But you know what did come up? A Mexican restaurant. I'll tell you all about that. So, so he's like, well, he starts to tell me about them, right? And I said, well, I got my eye on this Mexican restaurant. I said, is there one near walking distance? And it's just funny. Like I say, I even said to him, I go, what's walking distance? I just walked 22 miles. What define walking distance, So, I said within a few minutes, right? So he said, oh, well, the Quality Inn or the Econo Lodge and I picked the Quality Inn because there's a really nice coffee shop right next door for tomorrow morning. There's a Walmart, so I can get some more Cliff Bars. There's even a soft serve ice cream that's supposed to be really great. So, now listen to the ambulances. I am really back in civilization. Oh my gosh, don't hear that deep in the wilderness. So I'm like, all right, I'll do the Quality Inn, right? So not only does he drive me to the Quality Inn, but he goes, I'll give you a detour quick. He drove me to the Mexican restaurant to show me where it was so that I knew how to get there. Oh my gosh, so nice. And he knew everything, like super knowledgeable trail angel. Never through hiked, but just so intrigued by the AT that he moved after he retired, he moved to a hiker town so he could be a part of it. Isn't that cool? And then he says, just text me tomorrow and I'll give you a ride back to the trail. I couldn't believe it. All right. So I get checked into my Quality Inn and I'd give you I'd give you a tour, except I am, oh my gosh, I'm spread out all over the place. Well, here's so see, what I did was, and hopefully I don't shut my phone off because that's what I do when I start to move. Here's the king size bed. I'm drying everything. Everything was soaked. So this is one good thing about being in your own motel room. I wouldn't have got this with I would not have gotten this at the bed and breakfast. I would have had a bunk and I would have shared the entire space. But I was able to take everything out, every single thing, and just, there's my laundry. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Even my plastic bags are wet on the outside. Oh, yeah, you can't, no. The toiletries, I was going to say, I had those all spread out on the counter, but I put those away. I went through my food so that I could know what I have for, resupply. I'll go, like I said, I've got plenty of food. Look at how much chicken. That's all I eat is chicken. Chicken. Chipotle chicken. And, that's boring chicken. Here's the, you want to know what I eat? Roasted garlic and herb chicken. And this, I showed you this the other day. Oh, so good, ramen. Anyway, there's all my yummy yum. So that's my food bugs drying. Anyway, so yeah, there it is. I gave you a tour of my living in the lap of luxury right now. So, the Mexican restaurant, right? So I get checked in, I took a shower, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to get dark, right? So like, not right away, but I'm like, I better get moving. And I pull up their menu to see, maybe I could order ahead and do takeout, and they had DoorDash. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had it delivered to my room. Oh, I really am spoiled. So I ordered nachos, which I'm telling you, I am from Massachusetts. I am from up north. The Mexican food is just not as good up there as it is down here. This is the second or third time I've gotten this red sauce that's just, oh my gosh, it's so good. I don't even know what it is, but I must have it again. and it's like a spicy hot stuff, and I put it on everything. So I got a big pile of nachos. It was covered in this yummy chicken and all these vegetables and stuff. And then I got a quesadilla that came with the rice and the beans and the guac and the sour cream. Anyway, so good. So good. I'm full as full can be. And then tomorrow, I'm hoping to scoot over to that coffee shop and maybe get like a little baked treat or something. But anyway, yeah, so that's how my day went. And other than, just when it's raining, there's not much to report because it's just nose to the grindstone, get where I'm going. There was something. I did want to, you know what I did do? I Googled, remember, it was either yesterday or the day before, the grave marker for that little almost 5-year-old boy, 4 years, 11 months, little Lottie Klein, who was found 7 miles from his little schoolhouse, and I couldn't remember why he left. So I Googled it, and it all came back to me. You should look it up. It's heart-wrenching. Maybe you don't want to look it up. He didn't even want to go to school that day. He asked his dad if he could stay home and stay with him. His dad was a pastor and was doing side jobs. And Dad said, no, you got to go to school. And then at school, the teacher had asked all the boys to go outside and collect kindling for the stove because, that's how they heat the schoolhouse. And he wanted to make his teacher proud. So he was trying to collect the most sticks, but he was the littlest guy. He was only almost 5. So he kept dropping all the sticks, and I guess he just got, misdirected, and often they probably then realized he's lost and kept walking and didn't know how to get back, and it just rips my heart out of my chest. It's the saddest thing. But yeah, so that's where he was found, and yeah, I'm glad I got to see that because I had actually heard that story before. I don't even know why or where, but it was neat to see. Also, this is a tardy shout out. Julie, if you are listening, if you find me, I just wanted to say thank you for chatting with me the other day. I think it was Sunday. So if today is Tuesday, it was Sunday. I met a woman named Julie who was out hiking with her dog Coco and Snickers, and they were just such cutie pies. And we just had a really nice chat, and I just wanted to say, hey, Julie, thanks again for the chat. It was nice. And I guess that's it. Tomorrow, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But tomorrow's the Shenandoahs. I literally, I'll get dropped back off where I was picked up. And like I said, it's like 3/10 to the Shenandoahs. So, oh my gosh, which makes me remember, I gotta register. I gotta do that. Okay, gotta do that before I go to bed. All right, guys. Well, good night. Sweet dreams, and until tomorrow.